Fanfiction narration, episode 6. Today's story, TTO Love and Peace build origin. Written by yours truly, Harold Baker. An origin story to the TTO Love and Peace build, old Tressa and Harknass played, told in the future. Now, author's note. Tressa and Harknass, the two characters mentioned, are actually original character design. This was originally meant to be told before the second or first stories, but this is happening after the second story, where Neopets decided to cross over. So yeah, after this, I might end up making episode 7, which is going to be part 3, I think? Or a time that my self-insert in a couple of my good amounts of my characters ends up on a planet full of furries, known as Exo991b. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. Now that I remembered the convo me and Tressa had in regards to that build I recently had back then, and after having been asked about where I got it, I will state that I had been watching an old independent blog post regarding old, obscure, and even hidden development builds of games. If I recall the name of the blog in the guide, I think it was called Old, Obscure, and Hidden Dev Builds by Obscure and Hidden Dev Build Hunter. When I found this build and the blog, it would have been between the time in Toontown Online shutting down, and rewritten wasn't even a thing yet until some days after, mid to late 2013. They were freely available the year afterwards. Apparently, how the person found this build they kept intentionally vague, as to prevent Disney from coming for their asses. Judging from the vague instructions, they figured out that they can act as a hidden independent development team within a subsidiary of one of the companies that worked on this game. Most likely Disney, seeing that this was around a while back. And there was the fact they had a back door to the site before they got rid of the site in its entirety. They didn't want to let anyone reproduce this backdoor, but they had left a hidden hyperlink in where one can see this hidden development build. That was built around Valentine's Day, which development stopped entirely. And mind you, this person had played this a few years prior to Tressa's account and sometime prior to Harknass's account, when he's gone his tower. Off topic, the Toontown rewritten Harknass mentioned was not the same rewritten seen online and played to this day. That was an instance of this build that, like Tressa, somehow modified itself into a crossover with Neopets, likely renamed and somehow knowing the login to his account and the appearance of his tune by the time he was banned off as rewritten. What seemed like a normal deep dive into a hidden site onto the Toontown site back then seemed pretty pointless, but I managed to see a good amount of surgeons, and that seemed interesting. One I saw took place after the Big Cheese invasion, but there were only more cocks of other types from their respective sections, either looking for teams to make sad or just working. OC 091313. Only COGS dated September 13th, 2013. The day Toontown Online shut down. Another that I found took place around the same time, but with only the tunes either having fun in the playgrounds and streets, fishing, racing, and even hosting big parties. LT 091313, only tunes, dated the same date as the OC build. Seems like whoever was making these put a lot more effort to making these look official as possible. And when I rested my eyes on one build, this one codenamed L&P 02 1414 EAB. I knew nothing about this one and didn't think on the first part of the code name. But I think this was an early access build dated Valentine's Day 2014. Judging by the numbers and the EAB abbreviation, along with another also codenamed LNP 02 1414 Final. I think it's an early. With the early access build, I don't know about this one, but it seems to be the final version of the last build, still dated February 14th, 2014, if the name was any indication. So I downloaded all of these builds and played the first two a bit. They seemed okay, and I think the first build with only just the cogs, it's the first build where you can create and play as a cog, just running around the now sand and cog building infested playgrounds and streets of Toontown. While the second one was actually the opposite of event, had the game not been shut down. As for the other two builds, the only build of this L&P build I played was the early access build. Most of what Tressa described in her account of events were there, with some exceptions. The ending wasn't there, but when I built my mail tune, I think there were some of the same responses, albeit it happened on a somewhat frequent basis. I thought that was enough for now, and seeing how these were more valuable, and seeing that someone might call me a bullshitter for thinking these builds exist. Honestly, can't blame them for that. Really, I was called bullshit on that too, as I didn't see them firsthand. So I transferred them to an external hard drive I had laying around when I bought a 512 gigabyte drive. I thought I may have them for keepsake. In terms of the installers, I mean. When Disney found out about this blog post, they sued old, obscure, and hidden death build, Hunter, which also led to them getting arrested for hacking into their website and issued a full-on DMCA takedown on the entire blog. They surprisingly didn't know anything wrong, and I'm the only one who has the link to the hidden Toontown builds, along with having forced the installers, so it seems like it was either taken back on by the company or the owners of that site. He did not want to keep paying for this site, as the link was dead the moment I tried to get back in. But before they did that, I managed to download more builds that they had it on there, and transferred them over. So that's really it. Really. That's all I remember from memory. I still have the hard drive is with the installers to support builds and more that I had prior. I understand you guys state this is rushed and pretty fucking short, but I had kinda forgotten about this until I was asked about it. Being fair, I don't know exactly in the count Harknass told us as the LNP OTU 1414 final build out there. So, if I were to take an educated guess, I think whoever got a hold of that old HP P3 1337 desktop I left by the curbside of my former home may have known about these builds like how I did, and knew how to modify the cases that are dubbed laptop in boxes. Thanks in part to them being laptop motherboards inside desktop cases, and therefore requiring power bank bricks. It's only an educated guess. I don't have any proof if that it was ever the case at all. It seemed to bear in my head in practice. I do, however, note that Tressa saw the final version of the Love and Peace build as she told me everything about that build when I never got around to playing that one. Otherwise, I do hope you all enjoyed that explanation I had to do in regards to why this build came to be. And how and why both Tressa and Harknass came across this build. Thanks for reading from the text wall. I really need to take a goddamn break because damn that mob in the fucking scuffle back at Yoshi Island. Anyways, Harold Baker signing off for now. Have a rather great time now. Update. Wow, this surprisingly got popular. But yes, if anything, I may add more to this story. No, I'm not giving the link out. Like I said before, the site that was hosting these either died or was taken down by Disney or Shell Games if I remember correctly. But when I wrote this, I was only asked by Tressa, Harknass, and Megan at this point. I now have an external hard drive with 4 terabytes in it. Update 2. Okay, I get it already. You all seem more fucking confused as to why I still have all of these builds and transferred them over to a bigger hard drive. It's because yours truly wanted to sell the enclosure the 512 drive was in, because that drive was dying, but I still like to thank you all for reading all of this. Al Baker signing off. Still need a goddamn break. Jesus. So you guys may have noticed that I have not yet uploaded episode 40 of Creepypasta. As to why that happened, basically I lost the episode because of a failing drive. A failing hard drive, mind you. How that happened was because of years of absolute use. Heavy use, I mean? I mean, very, very fucking heavy use. So, yeah, I might have to remake that episode. But to make it up to you guys, I'm currently in production of episode 7 of fanfiction narrations, which won't be much, but it will suffice for now once I start productions of it's episode 40 again. You see, I was originally supposed to upload a slight grammar fix as Kingdom Hearts Zero previously. But thanks to my dumbassery, that one has become lost. It's not permanently. So to make it up, I'll see what I can do with episode 7 as fanfiction narration. Hopefully, once I get this sorted out, I can start redoing in episode 40 again, and then episode 41. Alright.